Araceli, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. I had an awesome week.
Excellent, Colette. Good. So, hello, everybody. This is Araceli and Colette. So now we are the ACDC. Araceli
We
and
have a
Colette.
name.
Dynamic change. And it's all about your direct current for all things real estate investing and finances.
Sorry,
So,
you glitched there for a sec. Say it again.
Oh, it's your direct current for all things real estate investing and finance.
And ACDC, because AC is your name and my name.
Yes, right. So
and because we're so dynamic, like electricity,
that's right.
Give you advice, we're so excited about it.
Well, we're trying to give you, well, not exactly advice, but advice what we know, what we're experts at, but also just the things that are changing, things that we see happening in our industry, and how you can benefit from it, how you can actually have
guide
you. Exactly.
Yeah, and give you good advice, so you have options. You always have options.
Yeah. Colette, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a post that I saw from you on Instagram. So if you don't follow Colette, follow Colette on Instagram. Yeah.
Introduce yourself first.
Oh,
we always forget.
I know. My name is Araceli. I'm a transition financial specialist, and I work directly with single professional women or divorced women that are going through a transition. And I help them rearrange their finances by providing more cash flow, eliminate their debt, and retire early. So that's what I do. So Colette, tell me what you do.
Well, hi everybody. I am Colette Raba. I am a real estate broker in the GTA. I like to work West End with residential clients only. I really love all types of clients, but really what my specialty is first-time buyers, and then the other end of the age group of seniors. But obviously, being a real estate broker, I can help anybody with their transaction. But why Araceli and I really connect is because I also help people with the numbers not just the numbers, but also finding income properties. So that's something we wanted to talk about today. So Araceli was mentioning that a little bit about Airbnb. And it's been a little crazy when it came to, so the way I invest, I have an Airbnb, and Araceli has properties in the US and in Canada, that she has a full, so there's really two basic kind of income properties. One is full-time renter. Actually, there's three, and I did post it on Instagram. Thank you for mentioning that. You can find me just, on Instagram, Colette Raba. You should find me, no problem. And also Araceli is on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
So the one post I did a couple days ago, I'm just going to read it. It's the purple one. So if you look at the scroll, it's about 3 or 4 down. So there's the 3 types of, and the people that did take our workshop when we did it, way back, at the beginning of the year, there's 3 types of rental. There's a long-term rental, short-term rental. You can do a flip. And then there's also the purchase, rehab, rent, and do it again. So I call it the purr, like a kitty cat. So, and then you repeat. So those, if you
like that.
Thank you. So there's, there's multiple different, so many different ways of how to invest, and both of us can really help you figure out how you want to invest, and what's your personality, what's your lifestyle.
Well, the important thing, I just wanted to go back a little bit, Colette, because if people haven't seen us before, you need to understand a little bit that it is not really that hard to start investing in real estate. I think the hardest part is making the decision to do it.
Exactly.
And also make a plan. Because
we can help them with that,
and we can help you with it. So it's important. I tell you, when I bought my first property here in Canada, by the way, so I was working and saving all the money that I could, single, and so I reduced all my expenses to be able to come up with my down payment, and I did it. It was very daunting. I didn't know, even though my background is in engineering before this.
Right.
I know a little bit about it, but it's not the same buying houses, like it's
Right.
totally different.
But that,
And
yeah.
but then you learn as you go along. And I did a lot of the renovations myself. Then I
Right.
hired somebody, had problems, but as you go along, you learn. So the most important thing is just do it, because that is the best way to do it. It's do it.
But if you and I have this experience already, the one thing, honestly, I was thinking about this morning, we talk about this, and, a lot of people obviously don't hear us talking about, things obviously not on Facebook or on off camera. But the interesting thing that both of us are always shocked at how people will spend 10, 20, 30, $40,000 on these courses.
Yep.
And they're not spending it on actually buying the real
Buying a
estate.
property, yeah.
So when you work with Araceli or I want to believe that the value that we provide, it's really, yes, there's a learning curve, but no, you don't need to spend that kind of money on these courses and not actually end up with a piece of real estate. So there's always a way to do it.
Yeah, so what happens is these courses are very, very advanced, and I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that for the the average person that just wants to get started, it is an overload of information. So what you need to know is just gotta get started with what you're deciding to do. So the first thing obviously is, where are you and what is your lifestyle? Because you also need to decide if you're going to be involved in the transaction or you want to be a little bit passive with the investment.
Right. You can just be an investor and say, hey, you do all the work, or, there's another thing too that I'm in touch with someone who does rent to owns.
Yeah.
And they're always looking for investors, and it doesn't have to be a huge amount of money, but that's a very passive way to get into real estate. So even, you and I have talked about even people who own they're even renting a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, that's correct.
They can start Airbnb with that. Maybe not in COVID, that might be a little bit different. But when it comes to how do you start and say, I don't have any money, don't make excuses. Call one of us.
Yeah.
And we'll go through it with you. So whatever level and whatever amount of money you have, and if, unfortunately you don't have any money or any resources, maybe, I look at my kids and go, okay, well, yeah, there is a demographic where they can't say, hey, Mom, I'm going to rent out my room to make some money. Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Right. But that's what I mean. There's so many different levels of how you can get started. And if you're hungry and if you really have that need or that insatiable appetite to get started, there's lots of scenarios we can help you with.
That's right. The most important thing is just reach out, because I know that sometimes real estate, it might seem a little bit daunting and don't know where to go, which it could be very convoluted. And also, if you make a mistake, it could cost you big time.
Absolutely.
But if you do a little bit of research, and it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. You don't have to buy these crazy programs that are out there for 10, 20, 30, sometimes more money to get started. But I think that the clarity about where to start, I think that's where we come in.
Right.
And we can just have a conversation. It's completely, complimentary to you, just so you can have an idea that it is possible to do.
Right. And you know what I hear from especially first-time home buyers, where they say, oh, it's not my dream home, but it'll be, and I'm like, okay, you know what? This is not where I was when I bought my first home. That was not what I was thinking. Even as an investment in that, to buy yourself a property, take care of yourself first, buy yourself a property that you can afford, and then that will build your equity, and you can afford your dream home, the second or third or fourth house that you buy down the road. It's not like, this expectation of saying, I want my dream home now.
Well, we all want everything now, right? But sometimes we need to have certain steps to move on to the next. Yeah.
Right. Of course. So we all have to, it's always give and take with real estate. Even like I actually sent someone something interesting or a little comment today about how with my BnB, it's almost like having a relationship with someone. It's really the ups and downs of it. It's like I'm in love with my house. Why are you letting me down?
That's
why
a good way to say it.
Yeah, personal, but I love it so much. And I love the process, and I love the people that come and stay. And, you know, that with me worked with my lifestyle where I could actually enjoy the property. Well, you know, not
but
lately, because I've been working so hard at it.
Yeah, Colette, tell us how you got started in Airbnb. Why did you decide to do Airbnb, and how anybody can get started? Like, what are the different ways? I know that you have a cottage, but walk me through the process, what you did, and then what would you recommend for people to do?
Okay, I would love to. Thanks for asking. Okay, so basically, I had my wish list. So my wish list / my goal.
Yeah.
So a goal is not a goal until you have a timeline, and you're very any goal that you set. We've talked about this too. Yeah. You have to be very, very specific on it. And I actually, it wasn't overnight. It took me 4 years and 4 different offers on different properties because I wasn't clear with my location. So that was the first thing, was where do you want to be? Number one. So in this case, I knew I didn't want to go outside of Canada, not because I knew COVID was going to happen, but because I am a little bit of a control freak and I need to see my property all the time and make sure it's okay, because it's my first one. Yeah. Maybe the second one, maybe I will buy it in Florida or in Arizona or somewhere else in the States, because now I know what to expect. So that was the first thing. I always have a plan B. That's the other thing with any type of purchase or, you know, real estate kind of investment, where I said, okay, my numbers work out. If the Airbnb thing doesn't work out, I can not either one, rent it full, like have a full-time rental or long-term rental. That was plan B. Plan C was just to sell it. And is that property, the location of the property, if I improve the property, will I be able to make money if I do that, you know, purchase and repair and then, you know, resell it? I could have done that actually. Well. Sorry, what?
I lost you, Colette, for a second.
Oh, sorry. So I had a plan B and a plan C. So my plan C was to, you know,
just flip it,
fix it up, to do the perk.
Yeah. So one thing that I just want to interrupt you for a second is that this is very important when you're buying. Yeah. To realize that there may be 2 or 3 things. You may want to do a flip, but if the flip doesn't happen because the market has changed, then you got to come up with a different strategy. Like if you're going to be able to rent it. Exactly. As well. So that, I think that's one of the biggest points about real estate, that if you have at least 1 or 2 plans to exit that specific investment, then you would be safer than if you just go out with one strategy. So
absolutely. Okay. So always have a plan B, always have, you know, that kind of contingency plan. And again, Araceli and I do help you know, make that clear with whatever steps that anybody who's interested in that, and to talk through that to get the right property for you too. So the other thing too, what we talked about was the reason why I bought this one was lifestyle. So I wanted to enjoy it myself, and I have a big family. I didn't want a very small cottage that I could only fit 2 people or have 1 bathroom. So, and when you buy real estate in general, I never want to say buying a property with 1 bathroom is a good idea, because as you may know, people sometimes have issues with plumbing. So if 1 bathroom doesn't work, you always have the second, especially when it's an Airbnb. Of course, it's not always the case. Like a condo, if it's a 1 bedroom, of course. But for me, I know I wanted a very specific type of renter, and I needed the space for my own family to enjoy, so I could have, you know, mine is not in COVID, obviously, but if I wanted my siblings to come with their kids and my parents, the house is going to be big enough to do that. So very, very, very specific on the type of property that I wanted. The next one I buy is probably not going to have that same kind of detail, because now I'm comfortable with my choices, and I'm happy with how it worked out. So that's the thing. Don't overthink it. You know, this is not a McDonald's franchise where you say, okay, my goal is not to just have 1, but 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000. Start with 1. So I'm my worst client. I had to tell myself that over and over. Just start with one, do one. And I
Yeah.
trusted, yeah, and I trusted that it was all going to work out. And, thank God I just had a renter ask for the whole month of June. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very fortunate that, I hate to say thank you, COVID, because people can't travel outside of, the province. So
Yeah. Tell me
people
about
are,
it.
yeah, and people are still renting for holidays because you get sick of the four walls you're in, and you do want your kids to have a little bit of fun in the summer. They're out of school. So, knock on wood, I'm very fortunate. All of June is now booked. Lots of July and August are already booked.
Yep.
But there are a little, and that's the thing, like learning from last season too. And you were right. You learn every day. So from last season, what I learned was people like to rent 2 weeks in advance.
So,
Don't make that.
how it is for rentals right now during, obviously this time, right? You were saying that you're booked, correct?
I'm booked for all of June.
Yeah.
So what I learned from last year, where people like to book 2 weeks in advance. So really, I mean, this is cutting it close for June, but I got someone to rent the whole month. And it's actually what I wanted to talk about too, is like those business owners out there. The person who's renting it actually is renting it for her staff. Mm-hmm. So she's not staying the whole month. She is renting a week for each, I guess, specific staff members.
Well, it doesn't matter to you.
But you know what, that as a business owner that has staff, take care of your staff.
Yeah.
This whole push to say thank you to the frontline workers, why not? Everybody should be saying thank you to their staff. We don't say it enough. So I'm sure with the companies that you worked for, I can say the same thing. The companies I worked for, to get a thank you like that is
not very often. You don't get a thank you. They want things from you, but when you do something, there's not very much
right.
appreciation.
They're like, well, you're getting paid. Right, exactly. So I was very, very impressed with this one person who did that for her staff. And what happens in that sense, now that she's doing this for her staff, I want to go over and above with the people that are staying and do something really nice for them. I leave a bottle of wine. I leave a thank you card. Yep. If they have kids, I'll leave a few little goodies for the kids. So this is the thing that, good makes you want to do more good.
Hi, Sandra. She's here to watch us. Thank you. So one of the things that I wanted to tell you about the Airbnb, I was in an Airbnb in Quebec when I was there last year. Mm-hmm. And it was actually really awesome. They left us a bottle of wine. They left us also some bread, local bread.
Oh, nice.
They had a little bit of cream and butter in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Some soda.
Yeah.
We really enjoy that place. It has a whole bunch of stuff in the bathroom. Yeah. We really like it. So we enjoyed it very much. And I think that those little things, they really go a long way.
Yeah, I agree.
To it. So yeah.
And it's just like, when you Uber, Airbnb also, you have to leave, both parties leave, like they rate you after.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly it.
Yeah. And I'm not, terribly worried about the ratings because I know the house is beautiful. It's clean. I think that's the ultimate thing. If the house is clean and you give a little extra, so I have soap and shampoo and all towels and all bedding is all fresh. And now with COVID, I have to implement, well, I don't have to, but I have implemented more cleaning details. So that I think is really the most important thing. If the house is not clean, if there's a light bulb burned out, or if there is, when you see those lights where there's a little fly or something in the glass, that attention to detail is very important, and it's not a hard thing to do. So whoever, if you're interested in the whole Airbnb process, you have to trust cleaners that they do the right thing, cleaning to your standard. And, there's other maintenance stuff that you have to trust.
So Colette, tell me something. Okay, if somebody wants to get into Airbnb, is there any requirements? how do they have to put their house online? How do they have to prepare, even if there's a room or their entire house?
Yeah.
I know that things have changed a lot with now with the pandemic, but is there anything specific that you can tell people if they want to get into an Airbnb situation,
Yeah.
what they have to do, how they change the room, or anything at all that you can provide for people to get started?
Sure. I think the most important thing, most important thing is check the bylaws of the area. So
Okay.
Toronto does not allow Airbnb right now. They've been very, very tight with the regulations. So, and that has to do with a lot of things, not just because of COVID, but because of the other industries like the hotel industry. So hotels hate Airbnb. They really don't like it because we're taking away. But that's the other thing too with the county. They're trying to regulate Airbnbs. So my property's in Prince Edward County, Ontario, and it's beautiful there. It's a small community. They're trying to regulate it. They haven't quite done it yet, but it's coming, and they allow it, but they want money. So that's what I don't like about municipalities, when the rules aren't clear, but they're saying, well, you have to register and it's going to cost you X number of dollars. So that's the one thing. Call the municipality if it's either your house in the area or if it's elsewhere. There are ways to get around it. I didn't say that out loud, but like, this is the thing. It's about your comfort level. And if you are a person that likes to do things by the book, then maybe Airbnb is not, depending on your jurisdiction, obviously. So that's the first thing. The second thing is get your photos professionally done. If you want to use a stager or a decorator, please use one. Not a lot of people have that kind of visual understanding of what people are looking for when you rent. So my background actually is a staged townhouse. So it's not a fake, internet photo. This is an actual property that I recently purchased with clients. It's beautiful. Obviously, it's very neutral.
Nice.
Those are the things that, those are the things that people are looking for. They don't need to see your baby pictures of your kids or, some boudoir photos. So all those things that make it, like your background too, very neutral, it's comfort, right?
So how about, what do they need in order to post? Let's say they already arranged their room or the house. What do they need to do to go online and register? Is there like a waiting period?
Well, this is the interesting thing. Even if you don't know anything, or if you're not even ready, just go to Airbnb. And honestly, Airbnb is not paying me to do this, but if you just go to Airbnb and go through the process with this, so sign up like you actually have a property, and you go through it. And then the last step is to post it. So if you're not ready to post it, you can go through all of the questions that they ask. It's quite simple, actually. It's very, for me, it was very good. For insurance is the other thing too that you have to look into, because Airbnb insurance, or short-term rental insurance, is different than homeowner insurance. I'm sure you know that. So so there's other ways. And there's other ways to do extra insurance too. And if somebody wants to inquire, I can tell them about that too.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things, but don't be afraid just to go to Airbnb and, play around with the system, and call
and reach out to Colette. Colette, we're already almost at 25 minutes. So I know. So we wanted to give you enough information, but at the same time, we don't want to bore you. And we want to be to the point. If you have any questions about
I have a
Airbnb, how to set up everything, just talk to Colette, just send her a message, and she's very, very helpful. So, okay, so you have a question. What question?
I have a question for you, because I know recently you did your logo, which is in the corner there, with the chess pieces. So I know a little bit of the story, but I think you should share with everybody, because I really like it. And I think
well, thank you for asking. I'm going to be very brief about it. I work with Alex Chan, and he is fabulous to work with. I can put his information below to work on this logo. And basically what we did is we decided to go with the chess pieces because and also with the queen, because obviously it's a female. And second is we wanted to be strategic. And my business is to be in a strategic position for you to become, debt-free, financially independent, retire early, and have more cash flow. So I want you to see me as your strategic piece. So every time we move, you move forward into being more financially independent. So
I
that's
love
basically
it.
the story. So
I love it. And I think that like whenever, I mean, don't, you know, my logo doesn't mean that, but well, it doesn't mean really, it's just obviously because of real estate, it's my name
yeah,
and you know what I do. But
yeah.
I think when you have a logo that's very interesting, and I love the color purple too, which is
Well, purple also, it was a strategic color because it does signify wealth and
and
sophistication.
royalty
Yeah,
and royalty
royalty,
too.
sophistication. It's actually my favorite color. And
Yeah.
it just happened that when we were working together, he picked, the purple color without
Yeah.
me telling him. And it was like, wow, like this is
I
really
think you
good.
need to do a logo shirt so you can wear it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it
I
looks
know.
great. Yeah, no, I really
Thank you.
really like it. I think it's a great idea, and it
Thank
really,
you.
I like logos when they actually mean something
Means
and
something. Yeah.
has a story behind it, and it's very powerful. I really like it.
Yeah,
So
awesome. Well, to Colette, today that's all the time we have. And next week, please, and make sure that you can share this with somebody that is looking for an Airbnb or looking to get started. And also, give us ask us something. What do you
ask
want to
us
know?
questions.
Right, questions, please, because we're always looking to basically help you go through this transition. And we're going to tell you just, little tidbits about real estate investing, finances, things that you could do. Okay?
Yeah,
Well, thank you
yeah.
very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Araceli. Bye, everybody.
Bye.